Assalamu alaikum. This is the continuation of our previous topic, that is gaseous exchange in humans, in which we have discussed about the air passageway, and today we are going to discuss about lungs and then the mechanism of breathing. So first we are going to discuss about the lungs. All alveoli constitute a lung. Pair of lungs located in thoracic cavity, which is also known as the chest cavity. There are 12 pairs of ribs in the chest wall. The muscles which are present in between the ribs, they are known as the intercostal muscles. Diaphragm is a thick muscular structure which is present below the lungs. You can see the diagram of lungs. Left lung is slightly smaller and has 2 lobes, while the right lung is bigger and having 3 lobes. Lungs are spongy and elastic organs and pink in color. There are some blood vessels which are supplying blood to the lungs. They are known as the pulmonary veins and pulmonary arteries. Lungs are surrounded by 2 membranes, which are known as the outer pleural membrane and the inner pleural membrane. There is a fluid between these pleural membranes for the expansion and contraction of lungs. Now coming to the next topic, which is the mechanism of breathing. The mechanism of breathing constitutes of inhalation and exhalation, which means inhalation means the taking in of air. During the process of inhalation or inspiration, the rib muscles contract and ribs are raised. The dome-shaped diaphragm contracts and is lowered. The area of thoracic cavity increases, which reduces the pressure on lungs. The lungs expand and air pressure within them also decreases. The air from outside rushes into the lungs to equalize the pressure of both sides. While during exhalation or expiration, after the gaseous exchange which takes place inside the lungs, the impure air is expelled out. So the rib muscles relax and brings back the ribs to the original position. The dome-shaped diaphragm relaxes and is raised. The area of thoracic cavity decreases, which increases the pressure on lungs. The lungs contract and air pressure within them also increases. After gaseous exchange in the lungs, the impure air is expelled out. So this is the whole difference, you can say difference between the inhalation and exhalation or inspiration and expiration. You can also see the diagram of exhalation and inhalation. You can also experience it by doing physically the inhalation of air and exhalation of air, by taking in of air, taking a deep breath and then exhaling it, giving out of all of the impure air. Now coming to the continuation of this topic, that during the rest position, the normal human breath is 16 to 20 times per minute, while after hard exercise or during the exercise, the breathing rate increases from 30 to 40 times per minute. The breathing rate is actually controlled by the respiratory centers in the brain, which is sensitive to the concentration of carbon dioxide in the blood. When we are doing the exercise, our muscle cells carry out cellular respiration at greater rate, which results in more production of carbon dioxide in the blood. This greater concentration of carbon dioxide activates the respiratory center of the brain. The respiratory center then sends the message to the rib muscles and diaphragm to increase the rate of breathing to remove the excess carbon dioxide from the air. Here is a comparison between inspired and expired air. You can see the different columns are here in the diagram, that in the inspired air, the concentration of nitrogen is 79%, and when we expire air, that is also 79%. So there is no use of that nitrogen inside our body. So the body exhale all of it. When we inhale air, then 21% of air which is present inside the air goes inside, and when we exhale, out of that 21%, 16% has been exhaled. It means some of that oxygen has been used. So round about 5% of oxygen is used during the respiration process, during the cellular respiration. The carbon dioxide which is present inside the air, that is 0.04% approximately. So when we exhale that air, then that increases to the 4%, which means that during the cellular respiration, that carbon dioxide has been produced, which is actually increasing the concentration of carbon dioxide. So this is how the expired air is having more concentrated carbon dioxide. The amount of water vapors, that is variable in inspired air, because we know sometimes there is humidity in the air, sometimes it's a very dry air, so that is variable. While when we are expiring the air, when we exhaling the air, that is saturated. So it means that more water vapors, they are present inside the exhaled air. Now we see the dust particles. So the amount of dust particles inside the inspired air is variable. That is also depending on the environment in which we are present. While when we exhale that air, that is almost none. While the temperature, that is variable in the inspired air, that is depending on the environmental temperature of the environment in which we are present, while in exhaled air, the temperature is almost equal to that of the body temperature, that is 37 degrees Celsius. Now coming to the assignment question answers. The first question is, write a note on lungs. Differentiate between inhalation and exhalation. How will you compare between inspired and expired air? This is actually the comparison column that is also discussed in the table about the different gases which we inhale and exhale. So that will be the comparison between the expired air and expired air. And fourth question is, briefly describe the human